Hey, it's the announcement guy. I'm in Dr. Michelle's office here at the church. I thought that she was going to be here today to talk about adventure and prosperity.
I'm here.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Welcome.
Thanks for promoting our Adventure and Prosperity. It's a 3-week series starting next Sunday. Our theme this year is joyful abundance, and we're using the symbol of the elephant because the elephant is a symbol of good fortune and luck. And so we've brought the Ganesh symbol today.
I like it.
He's an elephant that is the remover of all obstacles.
So anything that's in my way of getting to church the next 3 weeks is being removed right now.
Right this very minute.
I love that. I love it. Here's what's coming up.
Our Youth and Family Ministry presents Part 2 of What I Wish My Parents Knew on April 30th, 11:45 in the Community Center. This chapter is devoted to anxiety. Discover what might be going on with your child or teen, what to look out for, how to identify their triggers, and most importantly, learn what you can do. You will find ways to support your children's mental health and your own by association, and we will have qualified panelists on hand to answer questions. A Chinese proverb says, if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone. On May 7th, from 11:30 to 1, Reverend Jackie Harris will present her workshop, Service as a Spiritual Practice in our Community Center. This is a love offering, pay what you wish workshop. Learn how being of service benefits those we serve, as well as benefiting us in the process.
Our spiritual education here at Mile High Church is all about you. It's about how to improve relationships, how to improve finances, how to improve self-care and our outlook on the world. When you take a class at Mile High Church, you are engaging in our teaching to change your thinking and change your life. And in the meantime, you meet great people and benefit them as well. I'm so grateful this spring term to be teaching Beyond Limits, our basic class where we explore an introduction to all things spiritual. But we have some other things on the calendar as well. Check them out.
Hello, Dr. Roger here, inviting you to our upcoming Meditation and Prayer Retreat, June 8th through 11th. Now, these retreats not only deepen our spiritual practices, they are really about spiritual renewal. They're so rich in so many ways. I pray that you will come be with us and give yourself the gift of a spiritual reset. So get right on it, join us, you'll be so glad you did.
So, Adventure and Prosperity coming up the next 3 Sundays. We're going to have small groups. Elephants are big, but the groups are small.
And there will be no live elephants used in the service at all because...
Cleanup problems.
Yeah. No.
Have a great week.
Well, thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning with us. We have a special guest named Amy Bishop, and she's coming again. She was here in 2020, and I'm so happy and excited to have her back. Come on out, Amy. So Amy is the CSL music director in Calgary, Canada. And Amy just drove all the way down just a couple days ago to join us. Amy was on a show similar to The Voice in Canada called The Launch, where Amy came in second. She was incredible. She is so fabulous. I knew we would get her back here someday, and I thought, why not make that someday today? All right.
Someday I'll be better. Someday I'll be confident. Someday I'll be happy. Someday I will be content. There's always something in the way of someday. Something in the way. Well, what if today is someday? What if someday could be right now? What if I let go of the bullshit that's holding me back? Then someday could be today. Somehow Someday I'll be lovable. Someday I'll be seen. Someday all will be possible. But there's always something in the way of someday. Something in the way. Well, what if today is someday? What if someday could be right now? What if I let go of the bullshit that's holding me back? Then someday could be today. When I lose the weight, I'll dance. When the kids are grown, I'll take a chance. When I have money, I'll be free. When the time is right, then I'll choose me someday. Someday. Well, what if today is someday? What if someday could be right now? What if I release the beliefs that are holding me back? Then someday could be today. What if today is someday? What if someday could be right now? What if I let go of the bullshit that's holding me back? Then someday could be today. Somehow. Someday,
Amy Bishop, thank you so much. Mile High All-Stars. Tom Litch, thank you not only for Amy, but for you. And I just love it when someone's made an impact on the soundtrack of our lives like Harry Belafonte has, that we have this skilled group that's able just to pull out the banana song and make it happen for us. So we're so grateful for these guys, our music director. Good morning and welcome to Mile High Church. It's so wonderful to see each and every one of you this morning. What we do together each week, whether you're in person or watching online, is we create a sanctuary together of belonging. And this sanctuary for you, whatever brings you here today, gets to be exactly what you declare it to be. A sanctuary of healing, sanctuary of love, sanctuary of forgiveness, a sanctuary of just remembering the joy of life in the middle of so much that seems to be going on all the time. So I invite you to declare what this sanctuary is for you. For me, it is just a joy to be with each and every one of you. And if you're new to our church, we love to recite our vision and mission. Each week, it's coming up on the screens. If you want to say it along with me, it goes like this. Our vision: oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission: to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. As we move into our time of song, silence, and prayer, I do want to call back to consciousness Harry Belafonte. He's one of so many vital civil rights leaders of the 50s and 60s who seem to be leaving this planet now. And he was someone in particular who risked his life and his livelihood on so many different occasions so that you and I could experience the rights that we have today and work towards the ongoing equality that we seek in our lives. So I just honor his impact on our country. And I also just want to bring to mind a congregant named Ann Bryan as well, who made her transition recently. Reverend Michelle Scavetta is doing her service off-site today, and I just hold her in our collective heart and all those who love her as they move through this time of grief because of her passing. We celebrate her eternal spirit as we take this time to go within and remember the truth of all life.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
I celebrate the stillness. For from that place of stillness comes that light of love, comes forth that inner sense of peace. Be still and know, it has been written. Be still and know that I am God. And so just honoring the stillness and honoring the harmony of the music and the goodness that each one of you have collectively brought into this incredible sanctuary. For this is a dome of consciousness here. Conscious means that we are awake and we are aware that all there is God, that precious, precious life. And I refer to God as that harmonic love because there is a balance. There is a harmony despite any disturbances. That harmonic love. Love is a fire itself. It is pure spirit that has never left you or I. It has never left this planet. And so I recognize that there is a unity. There is a seamless union to life. It cannot be broken. So we set down our individual judgments, our individual fears, concerns, all the differences, and in the stillness, we raise into that place of inner knowingness that all there is that harmonic love. So what I declare this morning is that the harmonic love surrounds this planet. It always has surrounded it. And we are awake and we sense it and we know that it is so because it is who we are. And so we let that light shine brightly. And I recognize I will love the light, for it shows me the way. And I will love the darkness, for it shows me the stars. So that golden thread of light woven in and through all religions, and we bless all walks of faith here today as they have gathered to know this inner truth. We bless all people everywhere. All people, not just some, all people. For that light of the divine is present inside. I bless this impactful message of Reverend Josh, the amazing music this day. And we just allow ourselves to move from this pinnacle point of light, recognizing that God is. So I just let go of this prayer. I bless it in letting go. And we raise in consciousness, recognizing there's only one thing that always wins, and it is love itself. And so it is. Amen.
Love reflecting love, one with the divine, peace expressing, heaven bright, light reflecting light. Love reflecting love, I'm one with the divine, peace expressing, heaven bright, I'm light reflecting light. And together here today, I look out on faces that I know. I see the love that I am reflected back at me. What a blessing, what a joy, what a life I have, and I'm grateful for it all. I am one with everything great or small, 'cause I am love reflecting love. I am one with the divine. I am peace expressing, heaven bright. I am light reflecting light. I am love reflecting love. closer than a heartbeat, closer than the breath in your lungs, closer even still than the pulse within your veins. I am, I am, I am closer than a lover or a child. I'm part of every person, kind and wild. I am everything you are. I'm the wish and I am the star. I am, I am, I am. I'm the oak that's climbing skyward. I'm a dandelion seed. Every broken heart, every good deed, every kind word spoken, every tear that's cried. I'm that little whisper that won't be denied. All that ever was or will ever be, passion, truth, and love, lasting peace. I am everything you see. I am you and you are me. I am, I am, I am. I am spirit, the one mind. I am laughter, I am divine. I am, I am. Amen.
Amy Bishop, everyone, thank you so much. Amy, our love to Dr. Pat there in Calgary. Give her big kisses from all of us. And what an incredible talent you are. And I know Amy will be in the lobby. She has product, or you can find her online as well. And what a wonderful addition to the soundtrack of our lives. Thank you so much. Thanks to this Mile High Band. Dr. Michelle will be back with us every year. We have a series that starts next week called Adventures in Prosperity, and this year's theme is Joyful Abundance. So it's a 3-part series, but it's also a 5-week small group program, and the groups start this week. So if you're interested in signing up, you can do so online or in our lobby at our event center. And you can also sign up for a spring class here at Mile High Church. I like to call it summer school because it goes into the summer, and there are many great offerings. I have the privilege of teaching our Beyond Limits class, which is about, introducing us to spirituality in all of its forms, but it's also about you and your life. It's a place where we really put this change your thinking, change your life stuff into practice by looking at our relationships, our finances, our self-image, etc., etc. So I'm really looking forward to teaching that. This morning's message, 100 names of God or more we may explore together. When I say the term God, I invite you to take note of what your reaction is to that term. For many of us, we respond with reverence and wonder, gratitude. For others, we may respond with some skepticism, some uncertainty, some agnosticism. And then for some of us, we may respond negatively to that term because we were brought up with an understanding of God that's different than the one that we teach here. A God that isn't one of unconditional love, but who may be judging or damning. Martin Buber, the great theologian, he said that God is probably the most used word in any language. And there's no word that has as many different meanings as the word God. If we went around this room, every definition could be a little bit different. And Buber argued that many say this makes the word God useless, that we should get rid of it. But Buber argued otherwise, to say that it's for this very reason that it becomes the most indispensable word, the most important word. Now, we in religious science, we sometimes can accidentally be God apologists. Because we like to say, call it whatever you want. Spirit, universal mind, infinite intelligence, just groovy. Whatever works for you. And I agree with the idea of call it whatever you want. But most importantly, know what it means to you. Know that name of God that resonates most strongly in your heart and live it with clarity. I don't care what you call it, but I care that it resonates with you, because then it improves my understanding of what God is. But we have to make sure it's a fit with our heart and with the lives we're living today. There once was a poor man who needed a new suit. And so he went in and he got the cheapest suit he could that was on sale, and there was just one problem. It didn't fit. One arm was longer than the other, the jacket was too small, the pants were too big, and he went outside and he passed by two older women, and one turned to the other and she said, "His suit doesn't fit." "Yes," the other woman said, "but it sure is a nice suit." That's the end of the joke. But the point being is we can shop every spiritual marketplace that there is and find all sorts of names and understandings of God. But you want to find the one that suits you, that fits you. We want to know what our reaction is to this term God, but we also want to know what our answer is when someone asks us, do you believe in God? Do you believe in a holy presence? My friend Margie Clark, a great minister in Southern California, she said, whenever anyone asks me that question, do you believe in God? I say, which God are you referring to? And that's true. If you were to ask me if I believe in God as opposed to in the sense of a man in the sky looking down and meddling in different affairs here or there, I would say that's not the central God of my belief, although I respect that point of view. In that sense, you might even think I'm an atheist. But if you ask me, do I believe in a presence of unconditional love, of unconditional beauty, of unconditional life itself, that knows who I am and where I'm wanting to go, that reads my heart before I feel it, that shows up in the wonder and blessing of my relationships? Yes, I believe in God. If you ask me if I believe in a healing presence, if you ask me if I believe in grace, if you ask me if I believe in an infinite source of wisdom that can transform us before our choices and our actions, then yes, I believe in God. And there are three things I want you to leave with today via this message. The first is I want you to leave with a name for God that resonates with your heart, that excites your soul, and impassions your life. Next, I want you to leave with the ability to identify an aspect of God that you want to contemplate more fervently and be more aware of in your life. And lastly, I want you to be able to name the God where your greatest need is. We all have a need somewhere, in a conflict, in a health challenge, in a self-image question, in a decision that we need to make. What is the name for God right where your need is? What is that name for God that resonates most with your heart and with your soul? I love something Martin Luther King Jr. said in his famous 3 Dimensions of a Complete Life sermon. He said, "You may not be able to define God in philosophical terms. People through the ages have tried to talk about God. Plato said that he was the architectonic good. Aristotle called him the unmoved mover. Hegel called him the absolute whole. Then there was a man named Paul Tillich who called him being itself. We don't need to know all of these high-sounding terms. Maybe we have to know God and discover him another way. Somewhere you ought to just reach out and say, he's my everything. He's my mother and my father. He's my sister and my brother. He's a friend to the friendless. This is the God of the universe. And if you believe in God and worship God, something will happen in your life. You will smile when others around you are crying. This is the power of God." What is that name for God that most resonates in your heart, excites your soul, and leads you to want to live a better life? The name for me that's most resonant right now, Dr. Patty put in her prayer, the stillness. I love that name of God, the stillness. To know in this noisy, sometimes seeming upside down world that never shuts up, there's a stillness. There's a quiet. And that in this stillness, there is a bottomless wellspring of infinite wisdom, knowingness, trust, flow, compassion, self-acceptance, the stillness, even when I can't shut myself up because I'm in anxiety or stress or victimhood or story. It's always right there, wherever I am, speaking to me with the loudest voice of silence that it can, calling me to remember who I am and what it is, the stillness. What's your name for God? Anybody? Love, beloved. Divine Spirit. I like Patty's too, harmonic love. Patty's so cool. Harmonic love. Anybody else? Source energy, creator. Acceptance. Friend. Presence. I love it. Glory. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that. Know what that name for Spirit is and live it emphatically in your life. That's how we make God tangible, real, practical, by knowing the name that it expresses most fervently in our heart right now and living in awareness of that. So know what your name for God is, and then pay attention to the aspect of God that might be calling you to be more aware of it in your life. Emmett Fox, the great metaphysician, a contemporary of Ernest Holmes, very much continues to be read, especially in circles of recovery. He said there are 7 main aspects of God. Shall we review them together? The first aspect of God, Fox just called life. Life. God is life. God is not just living, nor does God give life, but God is life. I love what Ernest Holmes says. He names all these names for God, and then he says, why don't we just call it life? And I love the idea that my own existence is evidence enough to know that there is a power out there smarter than I am and greater than I am. It's just being alive. And when we can open up to that aspect of God that expresses through this thing called life, the most real thing there is, the only thing any of us have, then we can begin to experience that aspect of God that is life itself. Not a life that is dead or created, but creative and present right here and right now. The next aspect of God, Fox shares, is God is truth. Wherever there is truth, there is God. Now we, in our teaching, often in our prayers, we like to say that God is all there is. God is all there is. And we believe in that there's no spot where God is not. And we even physiologically believe that the energy that makes up all of us, the universe itself, is God energy, that we're all made of stars. And I love this way of seeing it, but I also love to ponder the idea that God is the truth. That when I approach a circumstance, God may not be the most visible thing, but God is always the truth right there. Walt Whitman, in his beautiful song of Myself, says, all truth awaits in all things. All truth awaits in all things. But sometimes you got to do some courageous work to bring it forward. Sometimes you have to dig a lot to get the depth, to experience the grace. Sometimes you have to tell the truth. Sometimes you have to speak a hurt, knowing things might get a little worse before it gets better. Sometimes you have to have the courage to open up, to tell someone who they really are behind whatever role they may be playing for you in your life. Sometimes it's that courage to move out of self-rejection and to accept ourselves in a higher power. Sometimes it just means to be open to what the divine would have emerge in our lives. God is truth. Third, God is love. Fox shares that there is no condition that enough love can't heal. Truth is how we reveal the divine. Love is how we get there. There's no more surefire way to reveal the truth than to come from a place of love, which for me is the voice of God. God speaks not so much in language, but through the powerful voice of love. Fourth, God is intelligence. This is an intelligent universe. Isn't that something? This is an intelligent universe. We argue in our truth that there wasn't a being named God who invented the universe and then said, oops, off to something else. We don't believe so much in a universe that was created, but one that is creative. That the creation story that brought forth the heavens and the earth is working in you and in me and in this world and this cosmos right now. And it's an intelligence not only that's out there and all around us, but it's in us too. And we can correspond with it. We can resonate with it. We can feel it. We can bring it forward in our word and our actions. This intelligence is the most powerful thing that there is. And when we connect in it and accept ourselves in what it is, it can begin to express through us with clarity, with an emphatic honesty, and a true, lasting joy. God is intelligence. God is soul. Fox tells us that divine mind is self-conscious in you. This is another one of the amazing teachings of spiritual living. That we aren't just individual expressions, shards of the divine, but each of us is an individualization. The whole damn thing is right there in and as you. And when we can recognize the name of God as self-awareness in us, We realize that great gift when the divine announces itself in us. When the Holy Father is well pleased in who we are. When we have that synchronistic interaction, or we speak that word of heart, or we behold the highest truth of someone who perhaps has forgotten about themselves, that self-recognition, that soul, that truth that is in you and in me, it reverberates and it blesses us. God is spirit. Fox tells us of the sixth main aspect of God, that your true self was never born and will never die. Well, isn't that a relief? Do you know the eternal part of you? Do you know that part of you that was there when the Big Bang happened? Do you know that part of you that is a part of something eternal? I know for me, it's not Josh Reeves, who lives currently in Littleton. That will all pass away. But if I can learn to listen to that eternal part of who I am, I can touch that spirit that binds us all. And I can experience my eternal life, not in some afterlife, but right here, right now. I can experience it today. God is spirit. And lastly, seventh, God is principle. God is principle. Prayer is answered because God is principle, eternally manifest in the same way. In our teaching, we believe that God is personal to all who feel God's inward presence within. God knows who we are. We can converse with God. God can communicate with us. We co-create. God is a silent partner working in all areas of our life. And yet also God is principle. God is impersonal. God, Holmes would say, is no respecter of persons. And what that means is that there's this principle aspect of God in the universe that just affirms everything we do. It says yes to what you're thinking. It says yes to what you're choosing. It says yes to how you're behaving, whether you like it or not. It's affirming, and it's bringing that yes energy. And with the consistency of our thinking and choices, it begins to take form in our lives. This is God as principle. This is that power greater than we are that we can use and develop. What is that aspect of God that most calls to you from that list I just read? You know, there's no greater sacrament to me than our own understanding. It is your own understanding. No matter what God is out there in the cosmos, it is only through your understanding that you can know and experience what God is. And so it's up to us to do that enriching work, to expand that understanding so that we can have a real, true, and dynamic experience of the divine in our life. Two aspects of God that I'm paying close attention to these days. The first is this idea that God is the oldest part of me. God is the oldest part of who I am. I love this idea that each of us are a part of something primordial, something that never had a beginning and will never have an ending because it's always in its presence and its history. It's always right here and right now. I love this James Webb telescope. I think it's one of the greatest things we human beings have ever created. And you see those beautiful pictures out there. And when I see them, I can't help but think of Alan Watts when he said, "You are that thing you see vast off through telescopes." We're not just looking at who we are, we're looking at our distant past. We're looking at that very essence and presence that brought us to life and that is life itself. God is the oldest part of who I am. And it is a source of wisdom and knowingness and trust and understanding. God is the oldest part of who I am, but here's this other aspect of God I'm paying attention to. God is also brand new. God is brand new. God is changeless reality, and yet God is always that space between right now and the next choice you make. Infinite energy, Holmes called it, coupled with limitless creative imagination. Here is this divine power How can you express it and bring it forth in a way that has never been brought forth before? How can we become aware of this brand new life, not created, but creative, willing and ready to spring into creation in your life right here and right now? God is the oldest part of me, and God is always brand new. Know what your name for God is. Know that aspect of God that you want to experience it and live it more richly. I would love it if you took those 7 aspects of God and just took 10 minutes a day to think about them or journal about them, to pay attention to how it shows up in your day. That's building a real relationship with God. Emmett Fox was one of those metaphysicians who taught that you don't have to pray for stuff and that you don't have to pray for a particular demonstration. That the greatest prayer is just for God. That if you could just turn away from your struggles and even your desires and just contemplate God, how God expresses in your life, in the universe, and just be with it, that very process would take care of all your problems, would demonstrate your every need, would heal your self-image so that you can live more abundantly, would open your heart and your life with the recognition that I am not the greatest power in my life, but God is the greatest power in my life, willing and ready to demonstrate when we can create that space of possibility so that that presence can act and make real. Lastly, what is the God where your need is? In the Islamic tradition, they have something beautiful called the 99 names of Allah. It's so beautiful when it's sung. It's like a chant, but it also shares different ways that the divine expresses. Allah, the all-knowing. Allah, the forgiving. Allah, the provider. Allah, the evolver. And I love it so much because we can have the God of our understanding, and then there's the God that shows up through virtue, through qualities of being. And I just invite you to think about where your need may be in your life today. A fractured relationship. Can you believe in God as healing, as God as reconciliation, in God as forgiveness? Are you broke? Can you believe in God as abundance, as infinite source, as endless potential? You're in a place of self-rejection or stress and anxiety. Can you create the space for God to be peace, to be self-acceptance, to show up as grace? You know, a lot of people, philosophically, we approach God and say, God, show me a sign. If you're really real, show me that you're there. Prove yourself to me. And that doesn't work for me because it is my belief that our very existence, the very purpose of our existence is to prove the existence of God, is to prove it to ourselves, through identifying these names and qualities of the divine, and with a faith that knows it is done unto us as we believe, to create the space for that peace that we can't muster within ourselves to come forward, for that abundance to make itself known, for that beauty to reveal itself, to show that it's been there all along, for that healing and that forgiveness to take your heart, uplift and transform it and turn it back into gold. What is that name of God? And what happens as we continue to know these names and to bring them forth in our lives? We make God real. We make God apparent. And we discover the true meaning of our lives. Not only that we are here for God, but that God needs us to bring forth all of the beauty, all of the grace, all of its incredible names into our everyday reality. May we weave them with intention. May we receive them with a joyful heart. What a gift. What a gift. To close with some words from Martin Buber, who began our talk today. He shared, "You know always in your heart that you need God more than everything. But do you not know too that God needs you? In the fullness of his eternity needs you. You need God in order to be, and God needs you for the very meaning of your life." So just moving into prayer this morning, invite any of our practitioner prayer partners who'd like to stand. Let us become aware of whatever the need is, wherever it is, however it's manifesting itself. And let us know and affirm that its very purpose is to bring forth through us and through life a deeper experience of the divine. I call forth the God of infinite prosperity and abundance. I call forth the God of healing, of forgiveness. I call forth the God of joy and play and adventure. I call forth the God of deep love and self-acceptance, real divine belonging. And I call forth the God of absolute stillness, that deep quiet where we are known and can know as we are known, where we can let in that deep sacred love, where we can let out, not in words, but in pure human feeling and becoming, anything that does not belong in who we are or our consciousness anymore. We allow ourselves to be renewed by these names of God, 100 and more and still coming. How wonderful it is to know that we work in this life with a silent partner that not only is working for the good in our affairs, but is always available to us with a divine listening and a divine voice that speaks only its love, only its beauty, only its secret truths embodied right here and right now in me and in you. So giving this divine presence a name, opening up for it to take form, experiencing its aspects in so many wonderful ways, we live the life divine, and that divine life lives us too. And so it is.
All that ever was, will ever be. Passion, truth, and love, and lasting peace. I am spirit, the one mind. I am laughter, I am divine. I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am. I am, I am. Amen.
Beautiful, Amy Bishop. As we move into our time of offering, I always like to celebrate things in the community, and I just want to give thanks for all of our leaders. You know, we're a wonderful spiritual teaching, and because of the creative minds here, we've been creating, for me, some just great relevant programming. So grateful for Dr. Barry last week with our Sacred Earth Ministry putting on this awesome fair that they had. Dr. Patty was a part of leading yesterday's symposium for people caring for elders. Stacy Butters in our youth ministry, just even after service in the community center today, creating this awesome panel to talk about anxiety and stress facing kids. And we all probably have some anxiety and stress, so we can all go and attend to and learn tools for ourselves. So I'm just so grateful for the creativity and passion of these leaders creating so much relevant programming for us. How about you? Yeah, let's hear it for them. So grateful for everyone in our sanctuary. Welcome those watching in Germany, Japan, Philippines, Jamaica, Spain, South Carolina, South Dakota, Arizona, Texas, Oregon, and so on. People, I think, let us know on YouTube and Facebook, but if you're just watching on TV and want to email me at jreeves@milehighchurch.org, tell me where you're watching from. We'd love to acknowledge you. With that, thank you so much for all your financial support of Mile High Church. It helps us to continue to thrive and create more thriving for all of us. We are so appreciative. Thank you however you choose to give. And with that, we can take our gift physically or metaphorically and bless it together. And our affirmation goes like this: divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
See ya. I got the power, and my life's a crazy ride. I got the power, shining on all humanity. Yeah. Oh, powerful, 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 powerful me.
Thank you, powerful Amy Bishop and the Mile High Band. What a great morning this has been. Amy is going to be out in the lobby on the southwest end selling her product, but she also has a website. So for our online folks, write that down so you can get some Amy Bishop. She is a real gift to us. Yes.
It's .ca for Canada. Yeah, not .com, .ca for Canada.
Watch that. Yes. We're thankful for our practitioners who have just come down front. If you would like an affirmative prayer after the service, come down and they will be glad to pray with you. We also want to take a moment now. I want to thank the volunteers that we have here at Mile High Church. That is part of my ministry, is working with them. And so you're going to have to step back just a minute. And you too.
Yeah.
I just am so appreciative. We have volunteers who have worked at Mile High Church for over 40 years, and we have some who just started this year. So I am just so thankful. Be sure to thank them, and if you'd like to volunteer, please do. We have lots of openings, and I thank Ken Nakamura, who works with me. He's great. And lastly, I will be at the Welcome Center if you'd like to visit.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for your incredible leadership. This is Stacy Butters, our incredible youth director, and she's the architect of this series, What I Wish My Parents Would Know. We had a wonderful one in January. We have more coming up, but we have one today after service. Will you tell us a little bit about it?
We do. As Josh mentioned, we're doing What I Wish My Parents Knew, and today it is about youth anxiety. But what I discovered in all of the research and gathering our amazing panelists is that youth anxiety really does kind of translate to everyone's anxiety. So we have reasons why it seems so much higher, things you can do, all kinds of really interesting information going on. And how do you take this normal emotion of anxiety that serves a good purpose and when it spirals in those weird directions? We also have snacks, we have giveaways, and it's really only an hour right after church over in the community center.
You had me at snacks. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Thanks for that panelist who's working for us today. World Labyrinth Day coming up next Saturday. You can come to the church almost any time during the day. I know we have a slide coming up, and you can hold an intention, walk that labyrinth. Thank you to the Katzmeyers, Tish, the whole team for putting that together for us. That's Saturday, May 6th from 11 to 2. So with that, if you'd like to stand and join me in a benediction, repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, body, and all that I do. I give thanks for it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life.